Hey everyone, it's Tracy. Back from a long hiatus from YouTube. Back to find out that I can no longer record any YouTube live because I have to have 1,000 viewers, subscribers, in order to be able to do that. Well, I'm a long, long way from 1,000. So instead, I will do my lives on Facebook and I will do recorded videos on YouTube. So I just want to say that it's really unfortunate that YouTube changed their policy to say that you'd have to have 1,000 subscribers in order to do a live from your mobile phone. You can do it if you have a webcam or some other kind of stationary device. So I probably will buy a webcam because I don't know how a person is supposed to get to 1,000 viewers if they can't do Facebook Live. And that's all I have to say about that. So I'm glad to be back. Have been out of the loop lately because I went away for a uh, work-related trip that was 10 days. And while I was away, I got a really, really terrible cold that turned into a sinus infection that turned into bronchitis. And I'm just now starting to feel better again. And earlier this week, I started to feel a little bit better, but I had a lot of after school functions that I had to tend to, so I just wasn't able to get anything recorded until tonight. So tonight I'm going to show you how to make a card using a very fun technique that involves stamps, die cutting, and embossing, and a brayer with some gum bands on it. So this is the brayer that I used. It's just an ordinary plastic brayer, the kind you would buy in the craft section. I think this is sold in the section where they have clay to make different things with clay jewelry so that it can be rolled out. But what you do is you put some gum bands on your brayer and then you put it back on. And then what I did was I used my Versamark. Now, my Versamark has been used and abused within an inch of its life, so it's very stained. Okay, but that doesn't matter because for this project, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have the cleanest color of stamp, Versamark stamp pad. As long as you can roll your brayer across this, get some of that Versamark to stick to your brayer, okay, and then take your brayer and run it across your paper. Now this brayer, for some reason, leaves a pink trace, but it doesn't matter because you're going to be covering it with embossing powder. So basically you just take your brayer and do some crisscross patterns up and down the paper, however you'd like to design it. Then pick out your favorite embossing. Now for this technique, I found that the Recollections glitter embossing powder that has a lot of glitter in it did a really nice job of showcasing the style of this card. So what I have here is this color, which is the opaque sparkle. It's called Vintage Blue, and this is through Michaels. It's really pretty. It just has that shine to it, and as you can see, that's the one that I have here in the sample card. Okay, and it's got the nice sparkles, and you can see where I brayered. And then I also made with this purple color, which is called Vintage Lilac. So that's Vintage Blue, and this is Vintage Lilac. And it just has such a pretty sparkle and shine. I also purchased this other color, and I can't read the, Vintage Mint. Well, I guess it would be, since it's a mint color. And I have that one embossed out too. So you can brayer as much or as little as you'd like. In my sample card, I brayered, and then in my card bases that I made for today, I had a lot of brayering. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I had previously die cut some of the ovals with the foil. This is silver foil, and what I'm going to do is then take the foil and adhere it to the middle of these cards, and then have some butterflies and put the butterflies on there. So I stamped out a whole bunch of butterflies. This is from Brutus Monroe, Butterflies 2.0. And I think that what I'm going to do is sort of, I use different colors of ink. So I'm sort of just going to lay these out here. And I think this goes very nicely with that color. Let's see if I have any more stamped out in the darker ink. That's pretty dark compared to these other ones. Okay, so those are the only colors that I stamped out in. But my butterflies are all like different slightly, so they're not all exactly the same. So I think I'll put those three on that one. And then taking a lighter colored one that didn't have as much ink on it. Excuse me. And there we go. And this one too. He's kind of, let me get my pokey tool so I can lift these up off my mat. He's kind of got a little bit of a distressed look. So those three. And then for the purple, I stamped out a bunch of purple butterflies too, which is something that if you're going to be spending the time to do some die cutting, you might as well make extra. That's the way I look at it, because getting the die cut machine out and going through the process of die cutting, if you have the opportunity to make some extras, then there always will be available for future cards that you make. So I think that's a good way of looking at it. And I'm not a perfectionist by any means. I want my cards to look, you know, homemade. No, they're not going to look perfect, but being that they're homemade, they make a nice gift. And hopefully those who receive them will know that, you know, I took the time to make them a card and that they'll be grateful. Speaking of grateful, I have the Grateful Sentiment die cut. This is from The Stamps of Life, Stephanie Bernard. So not only could we create the card with the embossing powder and the foil of the circle, but we can also put a little sentiment down at the bottom to make that really stand out. I think that's really pretty. This shows off a little bit of that foil. It's beautiful. The mirror cardstock, I think it's so pretty. I think it's stunning, and I'm probably going to use a lot of different mirror cardstock in future projects that I make. This one is the mirror on blue paper in the background. I also have the blue paper with the teal word, grateful, and that really makes a pop. I love these kind of sentiments that have the background shadow and also the cutout word. I also have it in a light blue, and I think I might go with the light blue. I don't know. This is where if I was doing a live, I could ask your opinion. Let's go back to the mid-tone blue. Yeah, I think that would be nice. Or we could do the mirror and the mid-tone on this one. Yeah, that looks good. And then we can do the very light color and the mirror cut sentiment words and letters on there. So that's probably what I'll end up doing. I don't have anything die cut for this, but it doesn't have to have it. It's pretty enough on its own that you don't have to have a sentiment on it. You could just put your sentiment on the inside. So that's the plan, and we're going to go ahead and start assembling these. And so just give me a second to put my extra die cuts away so I don't lose them. I use these Brutus Monroe envelopes that I received. They have a snap in the back, and you can put your die cuts in them so you don't lose them. They're very handy. Any kind of plastic envelope that you can see through makes it very convenient to keep track of your extra die cuts. So that's what I put them in. Okay. Let's start with the purple one. Well, let's start with the light blue. I'm so indecisive tonight. Can't you tell? Alright, so we've got the mint color. And the first thing we need to do is secure our oval. Now, we're going to mix it up a little bit and put the oval this way. You know, there's nothing that says the oval has to go this way. We can put the oval that way, just to make it a little different, a little bit interesting. And I might just only use 2 butterflies, but we'll see. And I'm using art glitter glue. You can order yours through MayMayMadeIt.com. Maymay and her website and her videos on YouTube, I have to thank for inspiring me to start making cards. I started making cards a little over a year ago when I started watching Maymay's channel. I was actually searching for a way to create a wood sign. You know how you can have wood and then you put the letters over top of it, sort of like a DIY wood sign. And I found her. She had made one with keychains to hang your keys on when you get home at the end of the day or whatever. And she was so cool and just so sweet, and you could tell she really cares about the people who watch. And I started watching her, and that's where I learned about the wonderful world of card making and the stamp sets that she sells that are so unique and so beautiful. And I joined her stamp club, and then I joined a couple other stamp clubs along the way, and been making cards ever since. So I have Maymay to thank for that. And she's just so sweet. I hope someday that I get to meet her. Okay, we're going to have our butterflies all flying away from the mirror. And since this is the smallest one, I think I'll put it in the middle. Maybe I'll put it at the top and put this guy in the middle, and the little one on the top, and the big one on the bottom. And they're all flying sort of like in the opposite direction. Isn't that pretty? It's just enough to showcase those stamps, and it draws your attention to the stamps because I think the way the mirror shines. Hopefully I'm making sense right now. I certainly would rather be doing this live where I had friends that I could chat with and people that I could get caught up with. But maybe someday I'll get to the point where I have enough viewers that I could do my live with my iPhone. But for now, I don't qualify. I'm just a little, YouTuber that's just starting out. I'm just not, I guess, privileged enough to be able to do my lives using my iPhone. I'll just have to get a webcam, and hopefully my camera will work, and that hopefully my computer will facilitate that process and I won't run into any bumps along the way. But in the meantime, I am going to start doing, that's driving me crazy. I need to get a paper towel. Hold on one second. I got a little bit of glue on my mirror, and I want to get that off before it dries. There we go. That's what I needed. Not a wipe, but a paper towel. Yeah, I'm going to start doing some lives on Facebook until I'm able to get the system that I need. For example, the webcam or the whatever YouTube requires. I know there were some other people that were just getting started too that are affected by this policy. So it's very unfortunate. It's good for all of you who are established and have over 1,000 viewers. You have the chance to continue doing your lives with your iPhone, but us little peons don't count anymore, I guess. We are not worthy, as they say. We are not worthy to stream live with our mobile devices. Okay. That looks really nice, I think. I'm really pleased with how that turned out. It's a beautiful card so far. And it's going to be even more beautiful when we add our sentiment at the bottom. This is going to make a very nice thank you card. All right, so I'm going to work off of the card for now and just adhere this mirror die cut Grateful to the shadow. Again, this is Stephanie Bernard Stamps of Life die cut. I'm going to get a little quiet here so I can concentrate. I want to make sure I don't get glue on the other side of this, because that would not look good. Definitely don't want that. So I hope everybody's having a really nice April so far. I hope that wherever you are that you're having nice weather. We're having very nice weather here. It's going to be 60 degrees tomorrow, and it's sunny right now. And I'm glad to be actually filming with the daylight instead of filming in the dark, because normally until I get done with all the things that are going on in life, I don't get to go online and start making, I don't get to go to my craft room and start making anything until dark. So I'm really excited that today it's daylight and it's beautiful outside. Although my allergies seem to be annoyed by this weather. But that's only par for the course. Whenever you go from really cold weather to warm, springy, windy weather, it's bound to get the pollen and kick it up. That is so pretty. I just love that. I can't tell you how in love I am right now with mirror cardstock. Because it's shiny. I love shiny and blingy. Anything that sparkles and shines, I am definitely a fan of. Just got a little bit of glue here on this mirror image, so I'm just going to take my wipe and then immediately go back in with my paper towel. I just got my nails done today. I got the purple and then the bluish purple with a flower. I'm really pleased with how those turned out. So thank you, Nancy at V-Nails, for doing such a great job. Okay, let me adhere this to my card base with my art glitter glue. I'm using the applicator at the top for the fine point, which really does help to be able to keep this precise, you know, when applying that glue, not getting glue all over the place. So I'm just gonna eyeball this up and try to get it lined up straight. It's one thing that's nice when you're using glue to adhere your sentiments. You have a little bit of wiggle time, just a little bit of time to wiggle it and get it straight. Okay, so far so good. I'm really loving this. Now I need to get my card base. So I'm going to go to my closet. I'll be right back. I'm still within hearing distance. You can still hear me, hopefully. I'm going to grab some, I think this is Brutus Monroe cardstock. I think it's speckled egg. I think that's what it is. For some reason it doesn't have a label, so who knows for sure. I think I actually bought this in the store, and for some reason it didn't have any label on it. So took my best guess. I think that's what it is. If it had a label, I would know for sure. You know how it goes, right? But it's nice heavy cardstock. I'm just going to cut this at 4.5 length. I'm going to cut the longwise right here at 4.5 once I get it lined up right. Okay, where's my 4.5 line? There it is. And then I'm not going to cut it again. I'm going to take my Teflon bone folder and fold, and I'm going to score and get that nice and flat. And I have a lot of glitter left on my table. I tried to clean it up. This embossing powder, with it having glitter in it, goes all over the place. So if you're not a fan of glitter, you probably wouldn't appreciate that. But I'm a fan of glitter. So there you go. And this is going to make a really pretty card. So I'm just going to take my art glitter glue and doesn't take a whole lot. It's not like the olden days when we used Elmer's glue and we had to basically cake it on from one end to the bottom. Okay. I'm going to line this up, or do my best to line it up straight. There we go. That turned out pretty good. Not too shabby for a quick card. My blade in my paper trimmer needs changed. It's kind of fraying a little bit when I cut, but usually if I just go along it with my fingernail. One thing that acrylic nails are good for, getting rid of all those little stray bits. Alright, so we've got that. And then we've got the beautiful grateful sentiment on the front. Got a little bit of glue here. Hopefully I can just rub it off without messing up the... I think that turned out really nice. I'm really, really happy with that. Look at that shine. Isn't that pretty? So that's all I'm going to do live. I mean, on my recording. But if you would like to see the other cards that I finished, you can check out my blog it's called thehopefulcrafter.blogspot.com. So all one word, thehopefulcrafter.blogspot.com. I'm also going to post all 3 cards on my Instagram, which is Schultz551. If you would like to receive one of these cards, all you have to do is send me an email at thehopefulcrafter@gmail.com and include your address, and I would be very happy to send you a card. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Please remember to like my video and ring the bell so that you get notices in the future when I post a video. And please tell all your crafting friends to check out my YouTube page and to subscribe or follow so that I can eventually get to that coveted 1,000 viewers. And believe me, the day that that happens, we're going to have such a big party, and I'm going to have a lot of things that I'm going to give away for free to those who have helped me along the way reach that 1,000. So thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.